Hello everybody, my name is A.T. Sounds and I'm the writer and director of The American Crisis. With the 2020 election right around the corner and the current state of our country, never have I been more compelled as a writer and an artist to give a thorough explanation to how we got to this point in an artistic way that we only hope can teach. Not since the Civil War has America been so divided from the effects of politics, government, and racism. However, thanks to history, we have 2020 vision for how we can be better. The American Crisis will make you realize that the greatest gift of a republic in our democracy is the ability for each and every citizen to use their voice and engage. In this play, Thomas, a college senior, does not understand government, nor does he believe in voting, until he goes on an unexpected quest to learn the secret to solve the American crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that I present to you the American Crisis.
The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot in this crisis will shrink from the service of his country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of a man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to set a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated.
I know what I'm talking about. And what do you mean when I mean America's in a crisis? I mean, look around. There's people wearing masks. Black people are getting shot by the police. There's rioting in the streets. Oh, and foreigners are taking over my neighborhood. So yes, America's in a crisis.
That's right. Yes, America has its problems, but that's what makes America so special. It's a melting pot of people from all over the world with diverse backgrounds, cultures, and religions, all adding to the great American experiment.
Whatever. The only great American experiment is in a lab in Wuhan.
That is not nice. Your words are going to hurt people.
I don't care. It's true. America lies between, do we become independent or do we have open borders? I believe America comes first.
Then how are businesses going to maximize their profits if they can't even trade globally? I mean, do like money, right?
When are y'all two gonna give it a rest? Okay, 4 years later and you're still at it. I mean, I can't wait to graduate and not hear y'all debate anymore. I mean, do y'all agree on anything?
No.
Yes.
See, that's why I don't understand politics. Why do politicians make us think they have the answers to everything but nothing changes? I mean, they should be trying to unite us, not tear us apart.
Yeah, that's why we need a smaller government.
Nah, that's why we need a bigger government.
See, all y'all do is make my blood pressure go up. Government this, government that, Republican this, Democratic that. I mean, I can't wait till I graduate and I go into the military just like my pops. And you know, I'm gonna be a lieutenant.
Whatever. You better hope you can graduate, hombre. You're not doing too good in Professor Murphy's class.
Okay, so what does the fundamentals of government and how it relates to America and the crisis have to do with me?
The answers probably lie in our homework. Yeah, read those. And let us know how it is in the morning. We have a big exam. And it's election day, folks. I have to go vote.
Oh, you're voting too? Me too. Thomas, would you like to come with us?
No. Y'all know how I feel about voting.
You are so difficult. You registered to vote, so why won't you vote?
My answer is plain and simple.
And what's that?
It's a free country.
Oh my God.
Do you lose your freedom?
Alright, let's see what we got here. The American Crisis. Common sense. Boring. Let's see what this is. These are the times that try men souls.
These are the times to try men's souls. These are the times to try men's souls. These are the times to try men's souls. These are the times to try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot in this crisis will shrink from the service of his country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of a man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to set a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. America, with an army to enforce her tyranny, has declared that she has the right not only to tax, but to bind us in all cases whatsoever. And if being bound in that manner is not slavery, then there is not such a thing as slavery upon earth. Even the expression is impious, for so unlimited a power can only belong to God. Whether the independence of the continent was declared too soon or delayed too long, I will not now enter into as an argument. My own simple opinion is that had it been 8 months earlier, it would have been much better. We did not make proper use of last winter, neither could we, while we were in a dependent state. However, the fault, if it were one, was all our own. We have none to blame but ourselves. But no great deal is lost yet. All that Howe has been doing for this past month is rather a ravage than a conquest, which the spirit of the Jerseys a year ago would have quickly repulsed, and which time and a little resolution will soon recover. I have as little superstition in me as any man living, but my secret opinion has ever been, and still is, that God Almighty will not give up a people to military destruction or leave them unsupportedly to perish.
American crisis, trying to avoid a bloody war. American crisis, fighting for the freedom of us all. American crisis, government is taking it too far. American crisis, American crisis, American crisis, American crisis, trying to avoid a bloody war. American crisis, fighting for the freedom of us all. American crisis, government is taking it too far. American crisis, American crisis, American crisis. Every day we wake up, it stays the same. Marching, hoping, praying that these things will change. The future's in our hands and we stake our claim. Our claim. American crisis, trying to avoid a bloody war. American crisis, fighting for the freedom of us all. American crisis, government is taking it too far. American crisis, American crisis, American crisis.
Okay, what the hell is going on? Alright, where am I and who the hell are you?
The who and the where is not important right now. The why is. Do you want to know the secret to solve the American crisis?
Look, man, I don't think the American crisis will ever be solved. What about the genocide of the Native Americans? What about slavery? What about homelessness and poverty in the richest country in the world? Look, man, this is pissing me off. How do I get out of here?
Don't you want to know the secret?
What secret? And why are you here?
I'm here to take you on a journey in order to solve the American crisis.
And how are you going to do that?
By taking you on a trip. You take the blue ticket, and you can go home. It'll be like this never happened. Or you can take the red ticket, and you can go on a journey that'll change your life forever.
Sorry, man. I can't commit to something I don't know anything about.
Listen, the first thing you need to know about democracy is that honest representation means everything. In order to be in power, you need to be able to see yourself and those around you in positions of power.
So, like, no taxation without representation.
That's right. Just like no taxation without representation. Your first clue to the secret. Now, blue or red?
What if I take both?
You'll be stuck here forever.
Sheesh, alright. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I'll take the red one.
Good choice. Now, there's 3 things you're going to need to do on this journey. Watch, listen, and build.
Okay, I mean, this sounds weird, bro. What am I watching, listening, or building?
How to make it into the great American experiment. Now have a seat and take notes.
Welcome everybody to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. We are gathered here today at the pinnacle of democracy, the great American experiment. Our founding fathers created this nation close to 300 years ago with the intent to establish a nation where all men and women are created equal. Today we have 2 candidates who are unique not only for their actions but for their words, words that changed a nation. Now, Please think about your words and your votes as I introduce to you Miss Stacy Justice and Grace Hope. The first question is for you, Mrs. Hope. You claim that you love America. What is your presidential announcement speech to the American people?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Praise and honor to God for bringing us together today. Thank you so much. Let me begin by saying thank you to all who have traveled from near and far to brave the cold today. Well, I'm fired up. We all made this journey for a reason. It's so humbling to see a crowd like this, but in my heart, I know you did not come here just for me. No, you came here because you believe in what this country can be. In the face of war, you believe there can be peace. In the face of despair, you believe there can be hope. In the face of politics that have shut you out, that's told you to settle, that's divided us for too long, you believe that we can be one people, reaching for what is possible, building that more perfect union. And that's the journey we are on today. See, I want us to take up the unfinished business of perfecting our union and building a better America. And if you will join me on this improbable quest, then I am ready to take up that cause and march with you and work with you today. Today we can finish the business that needs to be done and usher in a new freedom of hope on this earth. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hope. Now, Mrs. Justice, you have decided to take the steps to be president of the free world. What is your announcement speech to the American people?
USA! USA! Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. It's wonderful to be in this great city, Philadelphia. And it's an honor to have everybody here. This is beyond anybody's expectations. There's been no crowd like this. Our country is in serious trouble. We don't have victories anymore. We used to have victories. When was the last time anybody saw us beating, let's say, China in a trade deal? I beat China all the time. I know that when do we beat Japan at anything? They send their cars over by the millions. And what do? When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo? It doesn't exist, folks. They beat us all the time, too. When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. And now they are beating us economically. They are not our friend. Believe me. The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. Be careful of a bubble, because what you've seen in the past might be small potatoes compared to what happens. Be very, very careful. Sadly, the American dream is dead. But if I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger than ever before. And we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Justice.
No problem.
Mrs. Hope, what inspired you to run for president?
Well, I moved to Philadelphia over 2 decades ago. I was a young woman then, just a year out of college. I knew no one when I arrived to Philadelphia. I was without money or family relations. But a group of churches did offer me a job as a community organizer for the grand sum of $13,000 a year. I accepted that job, sight unseen, motivated then by a single, simple, powerful idea that I might play a small part in building a better America. My work has took me to some of Philadelphia's poorest of neighborhoods. I saw that the problems that people faced weren't simply local in nature, that the decision to close a steel mill was made by distant executives, that the lack of textbooks and computers in schools could be traced back to the skewed priorities of politicians 1,000 miles away. And when a child turns to violence, I came to realize that there is a hole in that boy's heart that no government could ever fill. And that is why I stand before you today to announce my candidacy for President of the United States.
Thank you, Mrs. Hope. Now, Mrs. Justice, what inspired you to run for president?
I've watched the politicians. I've dealt with them all my life. If you can't make a good deal with a politician, then there's something wrong with you. And that's why we have what we have representing us. They will never make America great again. They don't even have a chance. Our country needs a truly great leader. And we need a truly great leader now. We need a leader that wrote The Art of the Deal. We need a leader that can bring back our jobs, can bring back our manufacturing, can bring back our military, and can take care of our vets. Thank you. Thank you. Far too good.
Thank you, candidates, for a spirited first round. We'll be right back.
Thomas Paine, born in Norfolk, England. Anglican mother, father was a Quaker. Tried my hand as a corset maker. Daddy was a pro, young Paine couldn't make the cut. Tried my hand as an excise officer. Took a chance on 2 failed marriages. Then I met Ben Franklin in London. Told me I could find success abroad. 1774, Philadelphia. Writing articles in Pennsylvania Magazine. Fighting for justice, fight against slavery. Speak the truth so there's nothing you can say to me. Through all my writings, though I really never had a hit. Then I went and wrote Common Sense. Perhaps the sentiments contained in the following pages are not yet sufficiently fashionable to procure them general favor. A long habit of not thinking a thing wrong gives it a superficial appearance of being right, and raises at first a formidable outcry in the defense of custom. But the tumult soon subsides. Time makes more converts than reason, as a long and violent abuse of power is generally the means of calling the right of it in question. The wise and the worthy need not the triumph of a pamphlet, and those whose sentiments are injudicious or unfriendly will cease of themselves unless too much pains are bestowed upon their conversion. The cause of America is in great measure the cause of all mankind. Many circumstances have and will arise which are not local, but universal, and through which the principles of all lovers of mankind are affected, and in the event of which their affections are interested. The laying a country desolate with fire and sword, declaring war against the natural rights of all mankind, and extirpating the defenders thereof from the face of the earth, is the concern of every man whom nature have given the power of feeling, of which class, regardless of party censure, is the author fighting for justice. American Revolution, fighting for freedom. American Revolution, fighting for justice. American Revolution, fighting for you. American Revolution, fighting for me. American Revolution, fighting for us. American Revolution. Who the author of this production is wholly unnecessary to the public, as the object for the attention is the doctrine itself, not the man. American Revolution. American Revolution. American Revolution.
So you're Thomas Paine. I mean, it was your words that kicked off the whole American Revolution. I mean, that's crazy. What's up, man?
Don't forget the French Revolution as well.
Vive la Resistance.
You can call me Paine, for I have known living the struggle that you faced for far too long.
But I thought you were a white dude.
Let's not get caught up in race. For the truth is, the only race is the human race. Now, what have you learned thus far?
Man, a whole bunch of nothing. I mean, where's the action? Majority of my people are still struggling.
And what does action mean to you?
It means getting up and doing what you have to do like a soldier.
Okay, soldier. You see the pieces around you? I want you to build something that is sturdy and useful for all.
Okay.
Now, soldier.
Society in every state is a blessing, but government, even in its best state, is but a necessary evil. In its worst state, an intolerable one. For when we suffer or are exposed to the same miseries by a government which we might expect in a country without government, our calamity is heightened. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The Constitution of the United States contains a preamble and 7 articles that describe the way government is structured and how it operates. The first 3 articles establish the 3 branches of government and their powers of checks and balance. The legislative branch, which is Congress, the judicial branch, which is the federal court system, and the executive branch, which is the president. Article 2, Section 1. The executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. He shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and together with the vice president, chosen for the same term, be elected. Article 2, Section 2. The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States, and the militia of the several states when called into the actual service of the United States. Article 2, Section 3. He shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the State of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. Article 2, Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. From the errors of other nations, let us learn wisdom and lay hold of the present opportunity. Yeah.
I hope they tell you what the secret is to make it in the great American experiment. I hope they tell you what the secret is to make it in the great American experiment. I hope they tell you what the secret is to make it in the great American experiment. I hope they tell you what the secret is to make it in the great American experiment. They'll never tell you what the secret is to make it in the great American experiment. They'll never tell you what the secret is to make it in the great American experiment. I hope they tell you what the secret is to make it in the great American experiment. I hope they tell you what the secret is to make it in the great American experiment.
As the same Constitution which gives the Commons a power to check the King by withholding the supplies, gives afterwards the King a power to check the Commons by empowering him to reject their other bills, it again supposes that the King is wiser than those whom it has already supposed to be wiser than him. A mere absurdity.
You see, it's not what they're saying, it's where they're sitting. I want you to really think about that. It's not what they're saying, it's where they're sitting. See, the President of the United States presides over the most powerful military in the world,
Whose job is to uphold and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That's right. And they're a normal citizen, just like you.
So then maybe I should run for city council or mayor. I don't see why I shouldn't be governor. Or You know what? I actually kind of like the ring of Senator Taylor. I mean, why stop there? I should run for president.
You know what? I like the way you're thinking.
I will now be administering the presidential oath of office. Everyone please rise. Please both raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
President Hope, please step up.
Wait, why does she get to go first?
Because she's first and you're second. It's the law of equation.
It's a stupid law.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to welcome for the first time ever, President Hope.
So much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. My fellow citizens, I stand before you today humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed and mindful of the sacrifices borne by our ancestors. In the year of America's birth, on the coldest of months, a small band of patriots huddled by dying campfires on the shores of an icy river. The capital was abandoned, the enemy was advancing. The snow was stained with blood. At a moment when the outcome of our revolution was most in doubt, the father of our nation ordered these words to be said to the people. Let it be told to future generations that in the depth of winter, when nothing but hope and virtue could survive, that the city and the country, alarmed at one common danger, came forth to meet it. With hope and virtue, let us brave once more the icy currents and endure what storms may come. Let it be said by our children's children that when we were tested, we refused to let this journey end. That we did not turn back, nor did we falter. And with our eyes fixed on the horizon and God's grace upon us, we carried forth that great gift of freedom and delivered it safely to future generations. God bless. Thank you so much. Yes, we can. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Hope. With great honor, allow me to introduce, for the first time ever, President Justice, President of the United States of America.
Thank you. Thank you. People of this world, thank you. We, the citizens of America, are now joined in a great national effort to rebuild our country and to restore its promises for all people. Americans want great schools for their children, safe neighborhoods for their families, and good jobs for themselves. These are just and reasonable demands of a righteous republic. But for too many of our citizens, a different reality exists. Mothers and children trapped in poverty, our inner cities, rusted out factories scattered like tombstones across the landscapes of our nation, an education system flush with cash, but which leaves our young and beautiful students deprived of knowledge. And the crime and gangs and drugs that have stolen too many lives and robbed our country of so much unrealized potential. This American carnage stops right here and right now. The oath of office I take today is an oath of allegiance to all Americans. Together, we will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And God bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our presidents, President Hope and President Justice of the United States of America.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government. It's the size of your heart, not the size of your wallet. So I'm in the streets with the people, making more deposits of love. What we need is the will of the people to wither the evil that feeds on the soul of the country we love. Look to the future, look to our daughters and sons. If we show a better way, then we've already won. Saying power to the people, call you militant. Some fight with the pen, some with the gun. Salute to the heroes that have fought for us. All praise to the Lord, cause in God we trust. Feeling like your back's up against the wall, and heaven only knows how we got this far. V for the vote that we fought for. O, can you see that we want more? T for the times that we living in. E for the effort that we putting in. Fighting for justice, fighting for freedom, fighting for you, fighting for me. Equality and unity, the American dream. What's the secret? Can you tell me? Brother, sister, can you help me? Equality and unity, the American dream. Said I'm fighting for justice. Said I'm fighting for freedom. Said I'm fighting for justice. I'm fighting for freedom. One voice, one vote. One voice, one vote. One voice, one vote. One voice, one vote. V for the vote that we fought for. O, can you see that we want more? T for the times that we living in. E for the effort that we putting in. Fighting for justice, fighting for freedom, fighting for you, fighting for me. Equality and unity, the American dream. What's the secret? Can you tell me? Brother, sister, can you help me? Equality and unity, the American dream. Fighting for justice and our freedom. Can you help me? American dream. These are the times that try men's souls.
Thomas, wake up!
Hey,
You okay?
Professor Murphy. Yeah, I'm good. I just had a weird dream.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was weird. I met Thomas Paine, and Stacy and Grace were running for president, and they both won. And then you were the debate moderator, and I was dancing and building and all sorts of stuff. It was just a weird dream, man.
Sounds weird.
Yeah.
Look, I think you should get yourself some rest, huh? I know you got a big exam this week.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, where's your mask?
I don't have one.
We're gonna look out for each other, huh?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Professor Murphy, I think I figured out the answer how to solve the American crisis and unite everyone.
Oh, yeah? What's the answer?
Me. I'm the answer. See, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. And the beauty of our democracy and our republic is that each citizen has the ability to engage and use their voice. So I gotta use mine.
That's exactly right. You can be the difference you want to see. Look, I'm about to go vote. You want to join me?
You know what, Professor? I think I will.
American crisis, trying to avoid a bloody war. American crisis, fighting for the freedom of us all. American crisis, government is taking it too far. American crisis, American crisis, American crisis, American crisis, trying to avoid a bloody war. American crisis, fighting for the freedom of us all. American crisis, government is taking it too far. American crisis, American crisis, American crisis. Every day we wake up, it stays the same. Marching, hoping, praying that these things will change. The future's in our hands and we stake our claim. Our claim. American crisis, trying to avoid a bloody war. American crisis, fighting for the freedom of us all. American crisis, government is taking it too far. American crisis, American crisis, American crisis.
Hello, my name is Abdul and I play Thomas in The American Crisis. I started acting in high school. In the 11th grade, I auditioned for Godspell and I fell in love with it ever since. I kept up with it in college. I took classes, I was in some shows, and I was lucky enough to secure a couple gigs right after I graduated, and I've been doing it ever since. What The American Crisis means to me is about understanding your right as a citizen to vote and participate in your government. You know, when you cast your vote,
You're basically choosing leaders who will determine laws that affect you on a daily basis, right? These are the people that will represent you on a local, national, and global stage. And it's important for us to realize that, this is the opportunity for us to make sure that they reflect our values. So that's why I was so happy to be a part of this. I love the message. And it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. So I hope you all enjoy watching it just as much as I enjoyed being a part of it.
Hey everybody! Welcome to my video, my video, Hey everybody, my name is Shanika Ponder, and it is my very good honor to meet you and to be a part of the American Crisis cast. I play the character Stacy, aka Mrs. Justice, darling. Yes, the character is a lot different from me. She's a little bit more stiff. I'm more like a free bird. Hey, a little bit more energy. So let me tell you a little bit about me. Okay, so I've been acting since I was a little kid. Maybe not technically professionally or anything like that, but I remember seeing this photo that my mom took, and I was standing on this little box. I was only like 3 years old, and I had a microphone in my hand. I'm like, Okay, so I don't know what I was actually singing, but neither does anyone else. They just know that I was on this box and I was performing. So I knew then. Apparently, I knew then. I knew then, right? But no, really, apparently I did. And so when I was like a preteen, I studied opera at the Kennedy Center. I did like little shows here and there, but then I also went to college and I was in a few plays, and I did like the Vagina Monologues and a few others. And it was just so much fun. And not as a hobby fun, but as in calling fun. Like it's my calling. I get a chance to play so many characters, and I get to bring stories to life and tell these real inspirational stories, or help to encourage people. And it actually brings me back to the American Crisis. Like moving to Philadelphia, I've acted in a few plays and web series and films, independent films. And so being a part of the American Crisis, it just, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. I get to encourage and inspire people to go out and vote. I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other, but I do want you to vote, because your vote, it matters. I don't care what you say, your vote matters. If you're on the fence about voting, I ask you to think about the kids that are in your neighborhood. They can't vote yet. Little Day-Day around the corner, he can't vote yet. He's not old enough yet. Or there are some people, they don't have the right to vote. And so you will be voting for them, aka your community. And so your voice matters. It impacts you, it impacts your community. I get it. It's like, I don't know who to vote for. I don't like either candidate. But there's going to be one that will win. Don't you want your voice to matter? I also encourage you to vote when it's time to vote for your senators, House of Representatives, and just any of the other local officials. Read about those candidates. See what their policies are all about, so that you know what's really going to be impacting your community. And so November the 3rd, if you're not registered to vote, maybe you just turned 18, you moved, or you changed your name. What are you waiting for? Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking. Time for thinking ahead. So wake up, okay? Wake up. Let's do this. Let's go to these polls in any way that you're able to do it, safely. Because your voice, it matters. Thank you so much for watching the American Crisis, whenever you do watch it. And I hope that we can do it live for you. And I would love to meet you safely. And, I really do care about you. So thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, your voice has power. Okay, you make a difference. Again, it's your girl Shanika Ponder, and thank you for tuning into my video. Hey, my video. Hey. Bye.
Hi, my name is James Kern. I am an actor. I play moderator and the professor in American Crisis, and I all got my start probably a little differently than everyone else. My parents are both actors, professors of acting at Temple University. They're retired now. So my entire life I've grown up in the theater, on set, or anything like that. So I was resistant for a while. I did a lot of music and things before that, but eventually I found myself enamored with the world of theater and film and television, and I'm now sort of fully swept up in it after getting my master's in acting, and I'm completely in love with it, and it's just such a blast. And it's such an honor to be able to do The American Crisis as a piece because, I mean, America is definitely in a crisis, so it's well named, and to talk about so many poignant things and try to maintain as much of an objective mindset as possible is really important. A lot of pieces are so often soapbox pieces or skewed in one direction or the other. What I really appreciate about this piece is it just presents to you the information and allows you to make the choice and sort of take the information whichever way you will. And to that same degree, this degree of objectivity allows for people like us to use our voices and vote. It's incredibly important, now more so than ever, in the face of a pandemic, in the face of a global tragedy that we had never sort of anticipated in our lives. And so if we want to see ways and policies affect and change our lives for the better, it's so important that we go and vote now. And I just hope that when you watch a piece like this, it gives you time to reflect and think about the choices that you've made in life, and hopefully that you've helped people along the way with your choices and with your actions and with your voice. So thank you so much, and enjoy American Crisis.
Hello to whomever is watching. My name is Amashi Hardy-Jones. I'm an actress based in Philadelphia. I have been acting for a total number of 5 years, and I love the craft of acting. It is the art of storytelling, being able to play characters and step into their shoes, the ability to be creative and imaginative as much as you desire. Honestly, I could talk about acting all day long, but that is not why I'm here talking to you guys. I'm here to talk about why The American Crisis is an important film to watch and how impactful it has been for me. In the play, I play the character of Grace Hope, and throughout the play, we discuss very, very important topics such as the pandemic, Black Lives Matter, and even our voting rights. In the current state of America right now, our vote matters more than ever. Our voice deserves to be heard, and it needs to be heard in order for change to be made in America today. So I really encourage you guys to not only watch The American Crisis, but to vote because our voices deserves to be heard. I hope you guys go watch it. Thanks, guys.
Hi, my name is Marvin Marcellus, aka Caesar Live Soul, and I play Thomas Paine in The American Crisis. Acting to me has always been a fun and interesting art form. Being able to embody a character to tell a story. My main form of art is music, which I've been doing for over 10 years. So I'm really comfortable with it and can kind of generally know what I'm doing. So jumping into this role as Thomas Paine, it was just super exciting and really fun for me. I've always been interested in acting. All throughout grade school, whenever there were table reads, I had no trouble volunteering. Or any plays that were going on, I had no trouble volunteering to be a part of them. But in recent years, it's not something that, I actually got into, like really doing acting. So my involvement in this play started with writing the lyrics for the songs in the play, which was also really fun to do, kind of taking words from 1770s and translating them to kind of be relatable today, but also keeping the identity of, and the character of those words. So that was really fun, and that end up morphing into me actually being tapped to embody Thomas Paine, to tell the story from his point of view, which again, super fun and super exciting. So this play, American Crisis, is, I think, really important right now because it kind of speaks to how the different voices of America, we don't always have to agree, but we do have to come together. You know, we don't have to agree, we do have to listen to each other. And I think that's what makes our democracy so great, is that we actually have that kind of that dialogue, and you know, that's the most important thing. So I think, you know, the importance of voting is paramount. Like, we have to be involved in the process. You know, we can't sit and complain if we're not willing to get out and do something about it. So it's super important to vote, and I hope that the message of this play comes across to this generation and to many generations to come. Thanks for watching.
My name is Angie Hinton, and I work for Michelle Obama's When We All Vote, but the My School Vote section, which is going into schools across the country in an effort to change the voting behavior and reduce the age and race gap in voting across the country.
Why is it so important for your organization to be out here today?
Well, out here, we work in partnership with some other local organizations because we feel that it's very important to help mentor the youth so that they can have their voices heard, because we feel that there are so many issues that are impacting them that aren't being addressed. And so just trying to help them understand the importance of voting and how they really have a lot of power to impact the changes that they'd like to see in their communities, in their schools, in their government.
Can you tell us one thing that we do not know about government, about voting, about registration, that you feel is an important topic that somebody should know?
About registration, voting. Well, I just think that a lot of people don't believe that their vote matters, and I actually had an opportunity to work for the Senate in Pennsylvania for a little bit, and what I learned in that time is that the reality is when you don't vote, you don't matter to a lot of elected officials, and so they pay attention to who votes and the communities that don't turn out as reliably, and those communities typically are the ones that you see are underserved. So I just want to help people understand that when they do vote, that's when their communities will matter, when they will be able to demand the changes that they want to see. And so it's important for me to help people understand that their lives are mostly impacted by locally elected offices. And so those elections, understanding how those positions actually have an impact on your day-to-day life, and then voting on those different representatives are what really is the most important for you to see changes in your community, in your schools, and in your daily life.
Hello, my name is Shayla Street. I'm a Vote That Joint intern. I'm a My School Votes Ambassador Fellow, and I'm here to speak on my experience as a Black student at magnet schools in the Philadelphia Public School District.
Why is voting so important to you?
Voting is so important to me because I'm not happy with the current system, the current world, our current government, and the only way to change that is to vote for people who reflect my views and everyone else's, who reflect, yeah.
What change do you want to see in your community?
I want to see criminal justice reform, specifically, like I said in my speech, marijuana, small weed charges. I don't want to see my brothers and sisters sitting in jail for that while we have white students who are doing cocaine, heroin. They're going to top universities with a clean slate. So what I want to see is for restorative justice in our justice system, not people spending their lives in prison as legal slaves for small charges.
If you could run for office, what position would you run for and why?
Wow, that's a good question. Like right now? I guess if I could run for office, I would want to be in the Congress and like the U.S. Senate, because I think being president, I'm not ready for that yet. That's a lot of pressure. But the Congress has a lot of power, and they do it behind the scenes. So like the president, you know, he's giving out these PUA checks, but the Congress is the one who really put the work in, who got the money to us, the stimulus checks. So yeah.
What do you hope to accomplish in this round?
I hope that people listen to us and actually listen to the demands and push these demands and vote, because the demands require us to vote.
Are all valid to follow and to express. Any tips that you have for your fellow citizens who don't understand the importance of using their votes?
What I would say is think about what you're unhappy about. Think about what you complain about. I'm sure you can connect it to voting. Today, I connected healthcare, criminal justice reform, Black Lives Matter, gun violence, food, everything that you complain about. I'm sure you can elect somebody, or you can complain to somebody who's elected, who's paid to fix those issues. You can use your vote to get rid of these complaints and to be more happy with your life and the world that you live in.
Finally, any words that you want to leave for the young people that they don't know that they should know?
I would say that registering yourself to vote is not enough. You gotta make sure your whole family is on board. Fix your home before you fix other things. So make sure you have conversations with your family. You gotta talk. Don't hold things in. You gotta speak. Talk about why you vote. That's what's gonna get other people to vote. So don't just tell people what to do, but actually talk to people and have real conversations with them. And stop being so judgmental. The only way we can unite is if we accept other experiences and take them into consideration when we speak. So yeah.
Hi, so my name is Samaya, and like Miss Angie said, I'm a part of When We All Vote. So I kind of got engaged with this stuff by joining my school's voter registration team, which led me to find When We All Vote and Vote That Zone and other organizations that I work for. And today we're out here at the end of the march that's happening today to have a voter registration table. So for all the young people that are going to be here, you know, they have a chance to register. And, you know, the mission of When We All Vote and Vote That Zone, we really want to get the youth in Philly and really all over the country to be engaged in this upcoming election and elections all throughout their life, because we really feel that voting is important, and the youth are going to have a really big impact if we can rally them and get them to understand that voting is their right and their responsibility. And so I have a lot of team members, and I have Miss Angie, who's kind of like a mentor to me. She's amazing. And I met all these people through wanting to encourage the youth in Philly to vote. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and what we're doing out here. Voting important to me. I feel like my ancestors fought for years and years to get rid of so many different oppressions, and voting suppression is one of them. You know, voting taxes, all different types of things that they use to try to restrict my ancestors as an African American person from voting. And something I always say to people is, if voting wasn't important, why would they try so hard to stop us from doing it? And it's just something like I've learned in history and going out of my way to learn about my history is, you know, we've marched, we died, been tortured, harassed, all different types of things to vote. And I feel like if they gave me that right, they gave me the position that I have now to change things, that's something I want to take advantage of. So yeah.
What change do you want to see in your community?
What change I want to see is, I want to see my youth more engaged in civics and civic engagement. And this is not the fault of the youth, it's the way things are set up here. We don't really learn that much about our rights in school. We don't learn that much about what we can do to help the community. So I want to see Black and brown people being uplifted and being taught what we're eligible and what we're able to do to change things at a young age. Yeah.
So, looking behind you, there's a rally that's taking place. So, with the rally taking place, what hopes do you want to see that comes out of this rally?
Right. So what hopes I want to see coming out of this rally, one, I just want to say it's really inspiring to see the youth in Philly coming together for Black lives. And I want to see a difference made in our schools, starting in our city, but countrywide. I feel like we as a people deserve more respect. And I just love to see the youth fighting for that back there.